So here is kind of a little bit of a stack ranking order of what all of you see and what your communities are speaking of, and where you as a library are looking at how can you add value or can add input into this conversation and help by applying these innovative technologies and new business models and new ways of working together. How can you make a sustainable difference? And the only way to make that sustainable difference is to impact what I would call your urban systems, our buildings, our water, our transit, our schools and education sector, our roads, our utilities. And those are kind of the urban systems that now need to be transformed and that need to kind of work together as a whole system. This is not about throwing a bunch of shiny objects and school technologies to a water problem. That may solve something, but if we really look at all those huge objectives and goals you just stack ranked, we're going to have an integrated approach. And that kind of start to introduce the idea of how do we now become a smart city, hitting on all those urban systems equally and in a balanced way, introducing the right technologies and innovation to have the greatest impact. So how do we become a sustainable, resilient, and inclusive community that leverages smart technologies, smart governance, and smart partnerships? So it's not only about technology, it requires governance and partnerships as well. Because what we want to have is to create a socially, environmentally, and economic benefits for everyone, so nobody leaves behind, and making sure we close the gap and bring everyone along. Because what we want is to positively transform the way we live, work, learn, and play. And if we do this well, and use all these technologies and governance and partnerships and have the impact we set out to do by having attainable goals, we think we all can live and build sustainable, resilient, and inclusive communities. Now, doing this and applying smart technologies is a massively growing marketplace. And I heard yesterday there was talk about funding and how do we fund these things. And I realized libraries as a public service always draw the short end of the stick. But there's lots and lots of money spent in this movement. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago was about $400 billion US dollar marketplace, the smart city marketplace. It's almost expected to double in the next 3 to 4 years, which is like a 15% growth. So it may not be government money spent. It could be industry, could be the providers, the pioneers, and the nurturers that are all investing in capabilities to increase the quality and the experiences of our cities. And what we want to figure out now is how can you partake in this and get your fair share and become that catalyst